What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm talking about one from Blue Underground, and it is Down. So this was also known as The Shaft, which is what it was released as here, which is a funnier title and I think a more apt title, but Down is the original title, so that's what Blue Underground went with. This movie is about a huge... It's actually a remake of The Lift, which is made by the same filmmaker as Down. But it's about a huge building called the Millennium Building in New York. Thousands of people work here. Thousands of tourists pass through there. It's a very busy building that, needs to be up and running constantly, or the people who run it will lose a ton of money, basically. This leads to a situation where there's some weird stuff happening with the elevators. A bunch of pregnant women get trapped in one. The maintenance team comes in to take a look at it, but they can't find anything wrong. They check everything over, but there's just no signs of why this happens. And then later on, a guy gets his head stuck between the doors, and the elevator comes down and cuts his head off. And again, the maintenance team can't find any reason that this should be happening. And it turns into like a whole Mayor and Jaws kind of thing, where the guy who runs the building is like, we can't shut down. It's too costly. We can't even find out what's wrong, let alone okay, we can just shut down this elevator because this is happening. So he's basically saying, because we don't know what's going on, and the maintenance people are saying there's nothing wrong with the elevator system, we're just going to keep it open. And the rest of the movie follows what happens as these elevators become even more pissed off and lash out in new ways. Yes, this is a killer elevator movie, which is awesome in and of itself. This is a remake, but it's kind of an interesting remake because even though it's the same filmmaker, this one has definitely a different tone. It feels more like a action-driven movie than an atmospheric kind of thriller like the original was. This has got James Marshall, Naomi Watts, Ron Perlman, Dan Hedaya, so it's got a really good cast in it. However, it has a really campy vibe to it. James Marshall plays it pretty straight, but Naomi Watts is just plays this hyper annoying character that eventually just becomes so annoying that it's just hilarious to see her because she's so obnoxious to everybody. Ron Perlman really camps it up in his role. I thought it was really fun. I think it's an interesting movie. I think from a thriller aspect, it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a killer elevator. There's only so much you can do to make it scary because it's just there. The solution is just don't go in the elevator, but obviously the movie can't do that. So I think it does a good job of making a kind of stationary object very, scary and eerie. The conclusion is absolutely bananas. It's just a head scratcher, but I mean it works, and we get to see James Marshall fight an elevator with a rocket launcher. I don't know what else you could want from a movie than that. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's got a little bit of nudity at the beginning. They're spying on some people in another building, and you get to see a couple topless girls. But that's pretty much it. Blood-wise, you get to see a cool decapitation. There's a few other little things here and there, but it's not a really blood-soaked movie. It feels more like an action thriller than a horror movie, even though it does have the tension of a horror movie at times. As far as dialogue, it's got a decent amount of consistently quirky dialogue, but not a lot of big money lines or really crazy moments. I think probably the most wild moment is when there's this daycare worker who just curses at all the kids constantly, and that's kind of funny. And then you have Naomi Watts as this just incredibly annoying person. So that's definitely some quirky dialogue as well. For craziness, there's a lot of goofy stuff that happens in this movie. The whole rocket launcher, the fact that it's a killer elevator movie is pretty wacky in and of itself. So I think if you're a cult film fan, this is one you're going to want to check out. If you saw this movie as The Shaft, it's the same movie. I mean, everything's the same. But because it's in widescreen and it's actually a decent presentation, it honestly feels like a completely different movie. So even if you were kind of dismissive of it back then, I would give it another chance. The Blu-ray's from Blue Underground, and it's got the DVD and the Blu-ray in it. And it's also got reversible artwork in case you just have to have the Shaft cover. That's what it looked like on DVD, was that cover there. The transfer looks amazing. It's a new 2K scan. It looks so good. I mean, it is crystal clear. Fine detail is amazing. It looks like a brand new movie. It's incredible. I was seriously in shock sometimes at how good this transfer looks. Extras wise, it's got audio commentary, behind the scenes, trailers, and it's got a collectible booklet. So it's a really nice package. I think this disc is definitely worth it. If you're a fan of the director, or you're just a fan of killer elevator movies, or you just like quirky horror movies, I would definitely check it out. Again, it is on the campy side, but I thought it was really fun to watch. And it has an insane amount of profanity in it. Like, it just gets like ridiculous at a certain point. There's so many F-bombs dropped. If you like this video, please check out my full write-up of Down, aka The Shaft, at markfusion.com. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at markfusion. My Patreon is also there if you want to check out, get some access to exclusive content. But the best thing you can do, as always, just hit that sub button. That's a huge help for me, and it's an easy, fast, direct way to support the channel and help me grow and continue to put up new content. Thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully I'll see you soon. And remember, next time you better take the stairs. I'll see you later.